All right, these are 5 tips that no one talks about when it comes to mixing a record. 5 tips for you. All right, so this is our session. Tip number 1, go ahead and save you a blank. So before getting started, I'm gonna save as, and then just go ahead and make a blank of this file before we get to any editing. This song is called Multiverse, so I'm just gonna put blank, and then you can save that to a external drive or an online drive like Google Drive or Google Docs, or you know what I mean. So that's what you want to do. Very first step, nice and easy, save you a blank. Tip number 2, organization. What we're going to do first is attack these tracks. We're going to color everything and name everything. Everything is named so that we know who's who. Opon is myself, so I'm these 3 tracks. And then this other vocalist, you see I even have his like ad libs and stuff labeled. These are ad libs, right and left. So you see how like everything's named according to what it is. This is a sound effect, and this is the talkback track that I had to talk into the booth so that he could hear me. So everything's labeled. Now we're gonna go ahead and color everything. So then you can just go ahead and start coloring things. So I can click that, color to color. You know, this other vocalist, I'm gonna have him a different color. But I actually already colored everything, so I'm just gonna do that, and now it's all colored its original color. So now everything is colored. What I'm gonna do is make sure that any clips that I don't need, I have separated from the clips that I'm using. So I have some throwaway tracks, and I have clips on these tracks that I'm not going to use for the actual song. So again, I did that beforehand, but like you see this, I'm not going to use that. It's muted. That's muted. So I'll go ahead and take those, for instance, and move them down to the throwaway track. Hit Alt so that they don't move in timing. They lock in place. There. Now those are on my throwaway tracks. They're not covering. They're not in my way here, confusing me or taking up space. Then what I can do is go ahead and hide those tracks. For me, that's Control Alt H, and that will go ahead and hide those tracks. If I want to see them again, I can go to the visibility tab here in my inspector window, and then I just can click those tracks back. But they're throwaway tracks. I don't need to look at them. Actually, before we hide those tracks, there's some more tracks here that I want to throw away. For instance, this. Now, I don't want to delete this because there might be some information here. You see there? So I might want to keep that. Same with this. What is this? See, that's some track information there. So I always like to keep all my clips because you just never know what it is that you might be deleting. Might need it later. I'm going to go ahead and mute them just like that. I'm going to bring my throwaway tracks up here and then bring these down to the throwaway tracks. Lock them in place so they don't move out of timing. And then again, hit Control Alt H, which will hide them. Or I just can come here and uncheck those tracks. So that's what we do with clips. You never delete anything you might need later. Put them on a throwaway track, and then if you can on your DAW, hide those tracks so they're not in your way. But try your best not to delete anything. Again, you might need it later. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and consolidate these clips all into one track so that I only have to edit the track once. All the plugins and stuff, instead of duplicating them on each track, I can go ahead and move these clips all to one track and then do one set of plugins instead of having to make a group or anything like that. While I do that, I also edit. So this is kind of mixing tip number 2, organization, with the third tip, which is editing. So as I consolidate these tracks, see how I also start editing. So obviously the best I can, I don't want to overlap anything. So I'm just going to go in here, kind of like shorten up that track, bring it up, make sure it's in timing, and then I can hit X, and then that will do a crossfade. But for this, I don't think I want to do that. Sometimes I'll just like to do the fade myself. That just make sure it's
like the sun from the ozone playing game,
right, making sure it's coming in nicely. And then also for editing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this, take that breath, turn it down a little bit just so it's smoother.
like the sun from the ozone playing games,
right? So that breath used to sound like this,
like the sun from the ozone playing games.
But I went ahead and muted it a little bit, or turned the clip gain down.
Like the sun from the ozone playing games, baby. I got the toke on.
Right? So as editing, we want to delete clips, or we want to do delete tails and heads. So for instance, I can go in here and delete that. Learning shortcuts for all these things will be beneficial. All right, so I went ahead and consolidated. Now I have these on 2 tracks. I have some verses that overlap again, so that's why I didn't consolidate it all on 1 track.
Cut your whole long. Tarzan in
You see how that kind of
feet
comes
like
in?
choppers. I'm gonna cut your whole long. Tarzan.
Right, and if I put it all on 1 track, it'll sound like this.
Feet like choppers. I'm gonna cut your whole long. Tarzan in the cage.
So, and even if I crossfade it.
Feet like choppers. I'm gonna cut your whole long. Tarzan in the cage, bear.
So I can consolidate it and crossfade it, but for me, I like separation.
Feet like choppers. I'm gonna cut your whole long. Tarzan.
Even if it's just peace of mind, because I like to hear that T in Tarzan. Next tip I have for you, tip number 4, making sure your timing is all good. So listen to the song from beginning to end. For example,
strange. Every time I spit, I turn blue. Who knew? I'm kin to a Smurf. Oh, 1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew I'm affiliated with a shoe brand?
Right. So these 2 verses here could be more on time with the beat. I'm gonna move it down here so that this isn't in the way, and I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and manipulate the timing on this so that it's more on point. So this verse here is a little fast, and obviously it's still it's the taste. Sometimes that's what the artist is going for, so you want to know that. Obviously I recorded this myself, and I'd like that to be more on time. I was a little quick with it, so let's listen to it again. It's a little fast.
Smurf. Oh, 1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew?
1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans.
1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew I'm affiliated with a shoe brand? 1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew I'm affiliated with a shoe brand? 1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew I'm affiliated with a shoe brand?
Right? So again, you have to just play with that until it sounds right. But that's something where timing could affect it better. Honestly, it's not even the best rhythmic bar over that section. But trying my best to make it on time, doing stuff like that, nudging clips.
Every time I spit, I turn blue. Who knew? I'm kin to a Smurf. Oh, 1 step ahead, got my foot in the Vans. Who knew I'm affiliated with a shoe brand? Whoa, Becky, don't wanna make your skin bronze. Spitfire like the sun from the ozone. Playing games, baby, I got the toke on. 2 gone. Flash in this race, I'm ahead many yards. Feet like choppers, I'ma cut your whole lawn. Tarzan in the cage, bare chest, King Kong. I slap it in the face, back and forth, oh palm. Split your 2 cheeks like hawk in a thorn. Salute the multiverse, this is our folk song. I do it with precision, I can split a photon. I do it with my ninja symphony of Mozart. Salute the multiverse, this is our folk song. I do it with...
All right, so everything is pretty clear to me, but if I wanted to, let's say I can go in here and just raise the clip gain of this up.
Salute the multiverse, this is our folk song. I do it with precision, I can split a photon.
All right, same thing here. And also compression will help towards that effect as well.
Salute the multiverse, this is our folk song. I do it with precision, I can split a photon. I do it with my ninja symphony.
Do it with my ninja. Maybe that's not legible, so I can go in here and raise the clip gain of that.
Salute the multiverse, this I can split a photon. I do it with my ninja symphony of Mozart.
Right? So that's part of making sure, your clarity. Also, that could be getting rid of those S's again.
I'ma show you what it is. I'ma do it for the flow, I'ma show you where it lives. I'ma do it for the kids. Like a stay-at-home mom, I'ma do it in the crib.
Right, so that crib there. Turn that up.
I'ma show you what it is. I'ma do it for the kids. Like a stay-at-home mom, I'ma do it in the crib.
Right, so that's a part of clarity. So those are 5 tips that not many people talk about when it comes to editing. They jump right into get in there with your EQ, get in there with your compression and so forth. But also very important before you get to any plugins, save a blank, organization, editing, timing, and clarity. Make sure you're doing that. It's been your boy Opon. Thanks for watching again. Like, subscribe, 500 subscribers by the end of 2025. Let's go.
I'ma show you what it is. I'ma do it for the flow, I'ma show you where it lives. I'ma do it for the kids. Like a stay-at-home mom, I'ma do it in the crib. And turn the lights on, I'ma flip, got a grip like a python. Matter of fact, when I spit, it's infectious. Killer flows in disguise, this is airborne. Woo! Spitting cobra.